cash in Alberta. Turn your backyard into money. Best-selling author, CEO of Vistra Property Group. Help me welcome to the stage, J.G. Francoeur.
All right. Wow. How's everyone doing? Not bad, not bad. Where's those clappers? I want to see those clappers going. Let's see. Aha. Man. So Patrick, Francie, and I, 2018, 2019, 2020, we were coming here to Alberta, doing event after event after event, and the energy was nothing like it is this weekend, let me tell you. All right? Nothing. Nothing. I mean, you couldn't motivate Albertans to do anything in 2020. But today, things are different. And back then, Ontario was on fire and Alberta was dead. You remember that, right? Who here is from Ontario? Let me see some hands, a couple hands. Wow, quite a few of you. Good job. Who here is from Alberta? Yes, wonderful. BC? All right. Saskatchewan? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's fantastic. So in the time we were traveling over and over, literally doing hundreds of events per year, and I kept getting accosted by people. JG, the market's too crazy. I can't find cash flow. JG, I can't find cash flow. JG, where are you finding cash flow? And I used to say, guys, cash flow isn't found. Cash flow is created. And at the time, you know, there was different ways of doing it. But we've uncovered some incredible ways here in Ontario that apply right here in Alberta. And you guys know I talk a lot about coach homes, and that's because in Ontario, this bill that was passed province-wide allows us to do 3 units anywhere in the province of Ontario without any zoning. Now that's fantastic in itself. Would you agree? Yes? Yes. Do you think it's better or worse here in Alberta? Let me hear you. Better. You know it's better here in Alberta. So the rules here are even better for you guys. And that's why the title of my talk is, Alberta isn't just about oil. You can turn your backyard into cash. And every single one of you can do this. It's a phenomenal densification strategy that dips your toe into land development. See, to be into land development, you don't have to take on an 8-plex, a 10-plex, a 12-plex, a 200 unit like Alfonso would do. You can do it with 1 ADU, and that's what I'm going to share with you here today. So I'm going to share with you 2 case studies today. One from Ontario, because I knew there's a lot of you from Ontario, and one from Alberta. And we're going to be able to put them side by side, which is going to be really, really cool. The one from Ontario, they're real numbers. The one from Alberta, it's a real deal that's on the market right now. Calvin and I, you guys know Calvin? Calvin Hexter, yes? Calvin and I have been collaborating on this deal. I'll show it to you. So the first concept to understand when it comes to ADUs and coach homes and how to turn your backyard into cash is this concept of highest and best use. What does that mean? Well, the first thing, highest and best use is all about something that it's got to be obviously legally permissible. That used to be very difficult in Ontario, not so much anymore. It's got to be physically possible. It's got to be financially feasible, and it's got to maximize the productivity of that piece of land. And that's the beautiful thing about real estate. Who here already owns real estate? Let me see your hands. All of you. This is a way for you to increase your ROI like you've never seen before without buying any more real estate. That's what I want to show you. So the first concept to understand is, how do you make the highest and best use of your land? So keep that in the back of your mind here as we go through this whopping 14 minutes. The next one is arbitrage. This one's really important. What arbitrage means is you're taking advantage of a market condition that will eventually most likely go away. And that's happening right now. Who here has done a secondary suite in a property? Let me see your hands. Nice and tall, let me see. Okay, so probably about 35% of you, fantastic. In 2010, 2011, 2012, when I started doing secondary suites, nobody was doing them. I was one of the first guys doing them. In Alberta, in Ontario, it just wasn't a very popular concept. And back then we were buying, raised bungalows for like dirt cheap. We'd throw in a secondary suite. The ROI was incredible. We were taking all of our money out in the first refi. It was unbelievable. Those days went away. 2012, it was incredible. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, it was like gold. It was incredible. But those days went away. Why? Because those property values outpaced the rest of the market. Why? Because it was an arbitrage at the time. And this is happening right now with coach owns. I'm going to show you. So in Ontario, so I want you to, before I continue, I want you to hold those two concepts in your mind. Highest and best use and arbitrage, because that's what this is about. Now in Ontario, and I'm going to flip-flop between Ontario and Alberta, because I know there's a lot of people from Ontario here, and I know that there's obviously a lot of people from Alberta here, and we're in Alberta right now, so let's talk about Alberta. In Ontario, this used to be so difficult. Literally would cost you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in consultants to pull off what I'm about to show you. That's all gone. That's all gone away. You don't need to hire any more consultants anymore because you are legally allowed to have 3 units on any piece of property in Ontario. So you don't need expensive consultants anymore. It's not complicated. It's not layered. You don't need to worry about zoning and zoning bylaws. It's all gotten a whole lot easier. The good news is Alberta didn't do it as a province, but every city in Alberta is following suit. The most progressive of them all, guess which one? Edmonton, you know it. Calgary's not too far behind. It's pretty good in Calgary too, and many other municipalities are doing it. The one thing Ontario has it going that's a little easier is that in Ontario, it's everywhere in Ontario. So the whole province plays by the same rules. Here in Alberta, you really got to dig into each municipality. So if you're what I'm going to talk about today is a little bit of Calgary, a little bit of Edmonton. But if you're doing this in Red Deer, you got to check what's going on with Red Deer, right? If you're doing this, wherever you're doing it, you got to check there. Now, it's very, very streamlined. All these changes I'm talking about, they started in 2024, so they're not even a year old yet. And many of you know, some of you know some of them, but you don't know all of them. And you really, I don't think, know the benefit this can have to your real estate business. So in Ontario, if you're looking for the bill that changed everything, clicker go. 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 Yes. Bill 23 is when it changed everything in Ontario, and this is the first thing that happens here is arbitrage. So what happens in this case? Yes, that'd be good. Thanks so much. Hey, can we give Amy a round of applause, guys? Isn't she the best? So back to arbitrage. What this will do for you as a real estate investor, and just about 95% of the hands went up when I said who owns one property. Every one of you had your hands up just about. Everyone's land has just gone up dramatically in terms of value. In fact, every one of your pieces of land has gone up somewhere between 3 to 5 times because of these zoning changes. See, in land development, if I was just a land developer, which I am, I would buy a piece of land, I would rezone it, I would increase its highest and best use, and then if I bought that land for, say, $100,000, it might be worth $1 million, it might be worth $5 million, it depends on what I get it zoned for, right? Well, this just happened to all of us for free, which is incredible. So knowing that your land right now is already worth 3 to 5 times more is huge and awesome. The more net operating income you can generate out of it, the better you're going to do as a real estate investor. Now, myself, who here seen me speak before? Ouch, that hurts. Wow. So I've spoken with Alfonso. I've spoken on the Well Genius stage a couple times. This crowd's always amazing. I've spoken on the Real Estate Investment Network stage. I've spoken with Patrick Francie. I've spoken on many stages. I've been doing this now for, 15, 20 years, roughly. But on a day-to-day basis, I operate a $100 million portfolio of real estate. So I'm in the trenches doing this day in and day out. In fact, I was in meetings all day, yesterday, this morning. I just got here a couple hours ago. So this is what I do day in and day out. We serve clients in Ontario. So I can't help you here in Alberta myself, but I know I can refer you to some friends and family that do. But my company, Vista Property, we don't operate in Alberta. We serve Ontario primarily because that's where we're headquartered. We do own a lot of real estate in Alberta. We own a lot of real estate in Ontario as well. So what I'm sharing with you in these case studies, these are in the trenches. This comes from what we call the Vista Coach Home Program. And before I share with you the numbers, which I got to get to quickly, I want to tell you why this is so important, because there's 4 reasons why now gives you incredible arbitrage. The first one, and there's 4 for Ontario, and there's 4 for Alberta, and they're the same 4. First and foremost, have a look. Top left. The entry price is very attractive. In Ontario, entry price has come back down. Entry price has receded. You haven't been able to buy property this low in quite some time. That's not going to be around forever. Secondly, construction costs are very, very favorable right now in Ontario, right? The condo market is shut down in the GTA, and as a result, there's a lot of labor looking for work. It's bringing construction prices down. It's awesome. Appraisals are still very strong. If you have a good property generating good income, you will get a good appraisal. Fourth, interest rates have hit their peak. They're on their way down, and they're doing much better than they were 12 months ago, aren't they? In Alberta, it's the same 4 reasons. I know here in Edmonton, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, JG, prices have gone up so much. They're still super cheap. The world is on sale here in Edmonton. Do you guys realize that? Like when you live and operate and you're a real estate investor in Edmonton, you think that duplex you could have bought or that single family you could have bought 2 years ago for $256 is now worth $375, and you're thinking that's expensive, but it's not. Because the rest of the world will pay a lot more for that real estate. So the entry price is still very, very good here in Alberta. It's incredible. Construction costs, yes, they've gone up here in Alberta because oil's firing back up, but guess what? They're going to keep going up. The higher the construction costs go up, the more these things become expensive. Whoops, sorry, go back. Appraisals are still very strong. As your market keeps appreciating, they will get stronger and better, which is fantastic. And interest rates, we all play by the same rules there. So let me show you what it's like here in Edmonton. This is what a primary looks like if you have a principal dwelling, say a single family. You guys have incredible rules here in Edmonton for secondary suites and ADUs. ADUs, coach homes, it's all the same thing. You can do actually up to a maximum of 1,400 square feet, which is really, really big for a coach home. When you think coach home, I don't want you thinking about a tiny home. That's not what this is. I'll talk about sizing in a second. But you guys can build really nice coach homes. Your maximum site coverage is 18%, which is quite good. And your height restriction, you can go up to 4.3 meters, which is just under 15 feet, which again is quite good. So you guys have incredibly good opportunity here in Edmonton for secondary suites and for coach homes. Now, what's the optimal size? I got to get to the meat of what is the optimal size of a coach home. The optimal size in Ontario is 837 square feet. That's the best size in Ontario for a coach home. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, coach home. Best 837 square feet, remember that. What is it here in Alberta? It's roughly the same. The reason is because that's where you maximize your rents but minimize your construction costs. You can build an 837 square feet coach home here in Alberta, same as in Ontario, for just about $250,000. In Ontario, I could rent that for about $2,300, $2,400, $2,500 a month. Here in Edmonton, you'd be able to rent that for about $2,000 a month. But in terms of your risk-free rate of return and your return on capital for that coach home, that's your best size. So just keep that in mind. I don't want you thinking a coach home's like 400 square feet. It's not. And a coach home isn't a 1,500 square foot thing either. The best size is roughly about 837, give or take. So how much do you build these for? As I mentioned, in Ontario, and I verified this with Calvin here in Edmonton, we're building these coach homes for about $230, $240, $250, $260, $270. In that range, it's about $300, write this down, it's about $315 per square foot. So if you build an 800 square foot coach home, do the math. If you do a 900 square foot, do the math. It's about $315 per square foot, give or take. Now, this is a case study we did in real numbers, real property that I own here in Ontario, in Peterborough. Anybody ever hear of Peterborough? Yeah. Well, don't invest there. It's no good. Don't go to Peterborough. Just kidding. Okay, so this is a property we bought March last year. Look at this, raised bungalow, beautiful, side entrance. So we ended up creating a secondary suite downstairs. So we go in, we separate the upper and the lower immediately. It takes us about 2 weeks to separate the upper and the lower. We renovate the upper and we immediately rent it out. Then we move to the lower, and it takes us about 40 days to build out the lower suite into a legally second unit. So it's an upper suite, lower suite. Then what we do is we move on to the backyard, and we turn that backyard into cash. This is where the money really starts to flow. And it takes us, ourselves, and I'm not saying everyone can do it like this, but we've really been hammering standards. We do this in 88 days. From the day we take the excavator and that first scoop, 88 days later, we have a tenant in there paying rent, which is incredible and very, very fast. So you can see here we're moving really quick. We build a frost wall, we put footings. We can frame a coach home in 4 days. We start on Monday, by Thursday night it's done. Totally framed, and we get to the inside. These are real pictures of one of our projects here in Peterborough. This is the final product. These are the final numbers. For the sake of time, just look at this net monthly cash flow number right here. As a single family home, we were losing $239 per month, every single month. Is that a good investment? Yes or no? Not really. I mean, the ROI is not bad, 689%. I mean, that's pretty good. You're not going to go broke. But to have to feed it every single month, it's like, no thanks. So just by converting it into a duplex, you take it from negative 239 to positive 651. Now, is that better? Yes or yes? Absolutely. I heard 2 people say yes there. You guys realize you're in a real estate investing room? Is that good? Yes or yes? Wonderful. Then when you add the coach home, shit goes bananas. Oops, sorry, there's kids. Things go bananas. Right? Your cash flow jumps up to $1,327 per month. Yes, this is in Ontario. Yes, these are real numbers. Okay? So it really, really makes a good difference. Can you do this here in Edmonton? Yes. So I was working with Calvin. I said, Calvin, show me a property that's available right now that I'm going to do this on. So he showed me this one here. And I don't know if Calvin, where is Calvin? Is he in this room? He might be outside. But go see Calvin Hexter. He's got the details of this. So check out this beautiful property. This is a perfect property for an upper and a lower plus a coach home. Same concept as I do. So if you took that upper, you made a suite out of it. Right now I think it's selling for $385,000. You do a suite on it, it'd go up to about $450,000. And then look at that big beautiful backyard right there. Just look at that. Can you envision? Bam. Look at that thing. Right? Just designed that quickly yesterday for fun. Here's how those numbers shake out. Single family, you're losing $500 a month. 2 units, now you're making at least just about $400 a month. Not bad. Add the coach home, making just under $1,200 per month. Your cash on cash return is absolutely fantastic and phenomenal. And the reason this is such a good idea right now is I come back to where I started. It's all about arbitrage. See, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Edmonton, Alberta in general has had a ton of immigration in the last couple of years. Would you agree with that? As this continues, and it will continue, and the reason is because Alberta's on sale. What I mean by that, it's much cheaper to live here than anywhere else in the country, just about. Well, the other 3 big provinces, which is Ontario and BC, you guys are on sale. You're super cheap. You guys make more money per week than any other province, hands down. So people come here for 2 reasons. One, they get to make more, and they get to spend less. And they're going to push up the value of these properties like crazy in the next 3, 4, 5 years. They're not doing it right now because they're not buying property right now. They're renting off of you. But soon, they're not going to be renting off of you. Soon, they're going to be buying property. And these are the types of properties they're going to buy because they make phenomenal multi-generational housing. And that's why this provides a huge opportunity for arbitrage right now. 1, you're maximizing your highest and best use like you've never been able to do before. And 2, it's the arbitrage of in the future, these properties are going to outpace the rest of the market. Hopefully this has been good. I do have a guide on Edmonton's bylaws specifically and how it works. So if you want to text me, that's my number. Take a picture. Text me and I'll send you this guide when I get back to the office, probably like Tuesday. I think I fly back home on Tuesday. So hopefully this has been good. What I want you to walk away from this talk with is to understand that this is a moment in time. Who here was doing secondary suites in 2015? Let me see. Anybody? Let me see your hands. Right? Have you done well on those properties? Yes or yes? You guys have outpaced the market like nobody's business. You guys have crushed the rest of the returns if you were doing secondary suites in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Why? Because you took advantage of highest and best use and arbitrage. You have an opportunity to do it now, but it won't last forever. You have an opportunity to outpace the rest of the market, and hopefully this has been good. Thanks so much, guys.